Hello and welcome back to the podcast that will definitely kidnap you, tie you to a bed, and do everything they want to you. Welcome back to another episode of Love, Death and Movies podcast, internet's #1 film breakdown and review show. The show that crushes watch this week after week. Every couple of months is a different genre. Every film in those different... Damn it, but my screen crashed. I'm continuing it anyway. The show that crushes watch this week after week. Every month, every couple of months is a different genre. Every week in those couple of months is a different film in that genre. So follow us and everything. Join us to ride, watch the movies. My Word doc just skipped forward 2 pages, and I started reading words that were from my notes, and I got muddled. Each and every week with me, Ash vs Movies. How are you, Ash? How you feeling?
Doing good.
Patient zero.
I'm here. No, I feel like I'm moving on from patient zero. I just unfortunately am still bed potting.
No, you seem good. You seem real good.
I mean, I'm good. It's at the point where I have to remember that I'm physically have to take it easy. Like I don't feel like injured or sick or in recovery or anything like that. So it's kind of harder that way. You have to remind yourself every second, like, oh no, you can't do that because you are still healing. So that's actually kind of harder, but I'll take it. So yeah, I'm doing good. Hopefully the pod doesn't get taken down for what you said in the first 10 seconds.
You know, it's just a little warning in case anyone tries anything.
In case you forget what we're talking about today.
Amen. Because we are going into, what do we call this again? This couple of months. Do you remember what we called it?
Did you name it?
Maybe we did. I'm pretty sure we would have named it once I'm ready loading into it.
Closed settings.
Yeah, closed setting cinema, wasn't it? Yep, boom.
Yes.
Nailed it. We're starting, it's been a couple of weeks since we recorded. We like to bulk record. We're not bulk recording today, so you're getting a one and done here. Closed setting cinema, the next 2 months, where we're watching films that predominantly are just set in one location, which is great. We both love these sort of films. It makes it tight, easy, and it really dependent on the script and acting, which is really cool. And what a better way to start with the late great Rob Reiner's Misery, which of course is based on the book by Stephen King, made in 1990. Ash, what is your... Before we start, sorry, whoa, what am I doing? How was your week? What are we doing?
No worries. We're a little off our game. It's okay.
Yeah.
My week was going pretty good until this morning when I found out that Catherine O'Hara passed away. So that was pretty...
I thought that was
depressing.
Fake. When I first saw it, I thought it was fake.
Me too. I was hoping it was, but I feel like those death announcements, unless they're on Facebook on one of those weird fake pages, usually they're real, if they're posted by an actual source.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was pretty devastating. I watched a couple episodes of Schitt's Creek before this just to kind of remember her. Definitely one of my favorite actresses. Definitely a big loss day for everyone who loves movies, and she's just such an icon, obviously with Moira. So yeah, wanted to just point that out first. But
did you see Macaulay Culkin's post about it?
Yeah.
Beautiful post.
That really was short, simple, beautiful.
Very, very beautiful.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I actually just watched a few weeks ago the John Candy documentary. If you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend it.
I love John Candy though. So
me too, and I know that you love Uncle Buck like I do. But yeah, I cried a lot watching that. Just so much about his life that I had no idea about. And Catherine O'Hara is one of the people he worked with at the Second City. That's kind of like an SNL for Canadians, essentially, that he was a part of. And so she was in the documentary. So I just watched that a few weeks ago, and that was filmed just a year and a half ago.
Right.
So yeah, just really, really sad. So yeah, I recommend that documentary if you want to learn more about him, but also see some of her as well. Otherwise, yeah, the week is fine. Got some pretty good news from the doctor this week as far as healing, so that's good. Still have a little ways to go, but otherwise,
you're getting
just
a second brain. Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, I know. They're gonna connect it up to me, and it's gonna sit over here on my nightstand. And
Scoot can use it.
Well, he needs it. His brain's like a walnut, so he could use an extra brain. But yeah, no, I'm good. I've been watching a lot, movie-wise and TV show-wise. I'm watching The Pit still. Watching Fallout Season 2. Watched Heated Rivalry, which I was just telling you about.
Oh yeah.
And been watching Twin Peaks. Finally started Season 2 of that.
Nice. Shout out, Mara.
Yeah, that's pretty much my week. What about you?
That's pretty good. Yeah. It's been Australian Open all week, so every kind of day, if I'm not out, I'm literally just watching tennis, which is great. Final is tomorrow night, so you can kind of tell when we're recording this, I guess. It's a fucking historic final, which is great. It's Djokovic versus Alcaraz. It's the young guy going for the career Grand Slam versus the old guy that just wants to win one more. And it's like, that's awesome. That's awesome. It's set up, which is really good fun. Go, Carlos. Come on, vamos. I got to see Send Help. I think you'll love Send Help. The more I think about Send Help, because I know you're a Sam Raimi fan, the more I think you're going to love it.
I'm also a massive Dylan O'Brien fan.
He's great. Yeah, and I think that Rachel McAdams is spectacular in this as well.
She's always good.
Yeah. But yeah, got to go see that, which was good fun. Started rewatching The Hunger Games. My girlfriend's been reading the books, so we're watching them one by one. So she just she finished the first one in like a day. So we watched the first film last night. They're good movies, man. They're good fun. They're exactly what you want them to be. And I'm keen because she's never read them before, so she's like halfway through the second one, and she's just like, "What's a quarter quell?" I was like, "Just you fucking wait." Which is good fun. And also, I'm just really excited to have someone to talk to about Sunrise of the Reaping when she gets to that, because that movie is going to be so sick and brutal if they do it, which is really, really good fun. But that's kind of it for me, I think. I went camping last week. That's what I did.
Oh, yeah.
But it was like more
glamping.
Yeah, it was definitely glamping, wasn't it? I sent you guys photos, didn't I? Yeah, we had like a blow up double bed. We had internet. We were watching the tennis on like a flat screen at a caravan. It was like, yeah, we could be doing most. We were like
That's
right on the water.
pretty much camping modern day, though. Honestly,
it is. Yeah, we're camping like right on the water, like 2-minute walk from this bay water. And like we'd go on like a big bushwalk or hike, whatever you guys call it, your barbaric country. And it was like super hot, which is like, it was like 39 degrees, which is like 1 billion degrees Fahrenheit. And we'd get back and it was like so hot, and we'd just instantly just like walk into the water. And it was like, to be able to do that, it was really fun. But I was there for like 4 nights, and it was a really good way to like disconnect and stuff from city life, which is good fun. So highly recommend that.
Sounds great.
But yeah.
Oh yeah, and then to touch quickly on books. I know we've been talking books a lot.
Yeah. What are you reading? Oh, I'll tell you what. You go first though.
I finished Remain. I know I told you about that. So I'll be curious to see how that movie goes. I think I told you I liked it. I thought it was good. I didn't think it was like amazing.
I think it'll do better as a movie.
I agree. I think there's certain visuals that need to be and I think they wrote it knowing they were making a movie. Because obviously, like with M. Night Shyamalan, collaborating, it was like, okay. Because even like A Walk to Remember, when I read that book, which is Nicholas Sparks, like a long, long time ago, I felt like the movie was better than the book. And so I just feel like sometimes like his stories do better when you like put visuals, and then mixing it with like the M. Night Shyamalan kind of not thriller, but like kind of spiritual, like kind of aspect to it. I think that it'll work better.
I think like the night, like we're not spoiling anything, but the nighttime sequences I think can be horrifying.
Yes, absolutely. That's where I think his like ability to kind of create like a horror environment will work really well.
And like with books, like you kind of have to over-explain people's mannerisms to make it really evident. When like in the movie, it can be a lot more subtle. So there's like a portion of the book where there's like a character that does like mannerism. You're like, oh, that's shady. Why would they point that out? That's probably something to do with the ending now. And like that's how it got stuck into my head. And that's how I kind of instantly picked the twist. Spoilers, it's an M. Night film. Also,
certain like facial expressions you can like show not without telling, and I think that just stories like that I think can do really well in a movie. So yeah, that'll be interesting.
I love the idea. The idea's cool.
Yeah, it's definitely good. And then I started Project Hail Mary. I'm 100 pages in. So I'm enjoying it. It's moving along, and there's a lot of words that I had never known before. So
yeah, how good is it? How like it goes super scientific, and then you're like, what? And like, because I'd be reading this, be like, what the fuck does that mean? And then the next paragraph is like, here's what it means for dummies, and I'm like, thank you, thank you. There you go.
Yeah, I need that. I know. Yeah, so I'm enjoying it, but it's definitely like I want to only read it when I have like my full energy and attention, because I've never read sci-fi before in my entire life. I will openly admit
this is a good one. This is a good one to start with then.
Yeah, only via movies and shows. So yeah, I think it's really fun, and I definitely can see why Ryan Gosling was cast for sure. So I'm excited to finish that one.
Nice one. All right, well, let me just quickly read through what I read in the last 2 weeks.
Probably a lot more than me.
Maybe. I read the Netflix series His and Hers is based on a book by Alice Feeney called His and Hers. Read that. That was really goddamn good. I was like 75% of the way through, and I thought to myself, just like, this probably isn't the ending, but if the ending is this, that would be awesome. But it has to make sense. Like, I'm not sure if they're going to make it make sense. And then it started to get towards the ending, and it was like, oh, maybe it's not. I don't think I'm right. And then, like, the last part of the book, I was like, I'm fucking right. And everything just fell into place, and it worked perfectly, and I was, like, so satisfied. So I think I'm going to start watching that show today, which is good. I read a book called, which I think everyone should read this book. It's called I Who Have Never Known Men.
Oh, I heard that book was good.
Dude, it's very dense, very dense. It's like 180 pages though, so it's not long. But it took me 5 days to read, but it's 180 pages. And you know I'm a fast reader, so that like it's dense.
Is it fiction?
Yes. So this is no spoiler at all. This is like how it starts. It's a dystopian world, and 40 women wake up in like an underground cell in a bunker, and they have no idea who they are, where they are, why they're there, and they're like surrounded by guards who are all men, and then all of a sudden they get an option to escape. And it's like all about like learning about this world from a perspective of someone that has never known it. And it's unlike anything I've ever read before. There's times where like I was like at the first 30 pages, I remember messaging my girlfriend being like, I don't think I like this book. And she had the same opinion. She's like, I wanted more out of it and stuff. And then by the end of it, I was like hooked. I was like in love with it. I gave it 4.5. I was like, I thought it was, because I just didn't realize what it was. And then we realized it's like, it's all about reflection and beauty and like perspective. I kind of saw it off that, where it's like little things like because you're from a perspective of this young girl who's never known anything but this cell, and she's talking to like the other women who have known the world before the cell, and they'd be saying stuff like, oh, Saturday we'd go out and dance, and she's like, what's dance? And you're like, the perspective of like learning life for the first time at that age as well, I think is just a really fascinating way to do it. So
Interesting.
I would
Yeah, I'll
recommend
definitely be looking into that
and
one.
it's not
It
too
almost
long
kind
as well,
of okay.
which is good.
Yeah, I've seen it on lists. I just didn't really know what it was as
Yeah.
far as like genre or anything. So okay,
It's also a sick cover.
I've seen it.
So
Yeah.
yeah, the cover's cool. But then yeah, I think that's all I've read in between. I said I read the third Housemaid book. That's good fun. Those Housemaid books are great fun. But yeah, that's it. Let's get into Misery. So Ash, what did you think of Misery? Is this your first watch?
No, it's my second time.
Cool. What do you think of Misery?
I kept singing "I am in misery" every time I would say the name. I love this movie. I think it's great. I mean, I love Rob Reiner. I think like this mixed with the other ones we always talk about are just some of the greatest run in like a 6 or 7 year period of film ever. But yeah, I mean, I've never read the book. I know it's Stephen King. I know he likes to tell brutal stories that involve writers. So that tracks. But yeah, I think it just like spits you right in and sets the tone really fast. I think that the closed setting works. Like obviously it takes place outside of the home a little bit, but it's still in this small town in very confined areas. You don't go like all over town or see a lot. So I think in that sense, so much like The Thing, for example, where like you have some surrounding little areas, like, but it's all in the general, like, you know, one place, in the snow, which I think is great for a winter day. It's great for a cozy day. It's great for so many occasions. But then outside of that, just amazing character building, amazing premise. It speaks on this idea of obviously like these obsessed like fans, like what fandom can kind of look like and how insane that can be, but then also mental illness and this like lonely woman and kind of what that has led her to become. There's just so much here. And then, yeah, the casting is perfect. I mean, even down to the sheriff and his wife, I think every single character is cast perfectly. And Annie Wilkes is definitely a top villain, considering that she is just a regular human being like the rest of us. Yeah, it's just, it's haunting. It's funny at times. It's, you know, had me screaming when she breaks his ankles. I mean, there's just so many different emotions you can feel watching this movie. I just think it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. I agree. I think this movie is awesome, and I think my Letterboxd review. I think because I watched it like a month ago, because I read this book. I'm looking at my Fable app, by the way. Follow me on Fable if you're not. I think my name is just Harryaga.
Is that how you log books?
Yeah, I like it so much better than Goodreads.
Okay,
It's
I'm gonna
so
join.
much better, and you can make like little like groups and everything. I think you could do that there. My name is Harry Can Read. that's
I'm so glad you can read.
yeah, I found that out. Yeah, I read that at the end of November, beginning of December, and I loved the movie before that, but when I logged it on Letterboxd, my review from memory was that Annie Wilkes is one of the greatest villains, or is the greatest villain of all time, and I truly believe that because there is nothing supernatural about her. It's just a deranged. It's just the power of bad mental health can do to someone. It turns them into what Annie Wilkes is, which is like a personification of evil, which I think is fantastic. I'm going to go through the movie as well as like put in different things of like the differences in the books. So there's a lot that is slightly different with the books. A lot is kept the same. Like one of the main things is the entire book, the only two characters you talk to is Paul and Annie. There's no sheriff. There's no him going to his editor or anything like that. It's nothing like that. You have police coming to the property because like Paul's obviously missing and they're searching for him months after he's even missing. He's there for months, but you don't really get their names or stuff. It's just like the police is at the door or something like that, which is really great. But there is one scene in particular that is very much different in the book, which I will get to. It's the notorious scene in this movie. But let's get started. So, quick synopsis. After a famous author is rescued from a car crash by a fan of his novels, he comes to realize that the care he is receiving is only the beginning of a nightmare of captivity and abuse. So this is Misery. Budget of $20 million, which I think went a lot towards the actors. Box office of $61 million. So in this darkly humorous thriller, James Caan, by the way, James Caan's amazing in this movie. Like I get why Kathy Bates gets everything that all the roses, very much deserved it, deserves the Oscar. James Caan is such a good Paul Sheldon. So he portrays a romantic novelist Paul Sheldon, famously renowned for his trademark character, the film's namesake, Misery Chastain. Shortly after finishing his latest book, which is, what's it called again? Misery's Baby, I think it's called, the book that he wrote that she dies in. He drives off back to New York from Silver Creek Lodge. After a while, his car swerves off the icy road into a blizzard. In the car, he has a flashback in which he's talking to his agent about his last Misery book, sorry. And basically how it's like, are you sure you want to kill her? Because he hates writing misery. It's like, it's slop to him, and there's nothing about it except for a paycheck, which I get. That's a fair enough assumption. He's rescued by nurse Annie Wilkes, played by the absolutely remarkable Kathy Bates, who takes him back to her house for 2 days and reveals that she's his number one fan, hence the infamous quote, "I'm your number one fan." So when the book starts, he's just in the room already, and it's kind of described to him what happened, which I think is pretty cool. When Annie asks if she can read his new book in manuscript form, she proves to be more than just a little eccentric. When she lashes out in a fit of rage over the swearing in his book, of course. When she leaves the room, he seems faked out and looks like he wants to leave quickly. The next day, Annie brings home a copy of the final Misery book, and over the days reveals how many pages she has read. During this, she introduces her new pet So, Misery, which is pretty funny. The So is the pig, right? So in the book, he's got a separate novel that he's like, so the latest Misery novel is just hit shelves, and she's gone out and bought one, and she's like, at the start, she's already starting to read it. And in his bag, what he just finished writing was his next book that was beyond Misery. And it was like
I thought that is what is happening in the movie too, though. I feel like they just don't tell it well.
Yeah, I don't think they tell it well either.
Because I had the same question watching it this second time.
Yeah.
I never noticed in the first. It's confusing because it's called, it's not titled, the new book. And then they flash back to that meeting with his editor, and he's almost expressing like about like the end of the Misery books and killing her off and everything. And then it almost seems like that scene is supposed to be before he heads to Colorado to work on his next project, but they tell it in a confusing way.
do.
I think that's why it's not clear, because then she goes out. I think the reason she gets Misery's baby late is because the town is so small, they don't get the books like. So she's getting to it a little bit late.
So yeah,
and so I think that's the same thing, but just told in a confusing.
Yeah,
way.
they explain it better in the book as like, yeah. So the Misery, I think it's called Misery's Baby from memory.
Yeah,
Misery's
I think that's
Baby
right.
is released, and she's already reading it when you first pick up, and she's like saying like, I'm 50 pages in. I got it that day.
Yeah, yeah.
And he made a new book called Fast Cars, and it's not Misery at all. It's set in like the Bronx. Super like graphic in terms of language and everything like that, and that's the one that she's like, this isn't you, this is the devil.
Yes,
like
yeah.
you need to burn this. And that's what, like, it's like he thinks it's his masterpiece, so he doesn't want to burn it because it's like his escape from misery in the book. So like that's why that is. So the following night she nearly kills him over the fact that he has killed Misery in the novel. Great scene. This happens in the book as well, of when he wakes up and it's the middle of the night and there's like lightning and stuff and she's just in the room. That is awesome. She tells him that she never called the local hospital, which she said that when she said that she had. She threatens to kill him if anything happens to her. He immediately tries to escape but fails. The next day Annie seems happy and tries to persuade him to burn the manuscript. To which he seems reluctant, which I get what you mean. Like, it's not really, what's the manuscript? Like, then, like, yeah. So in the book, that's what it is. It's like, it's the next book that is like, not Misery and not what Annie wants. Later, she reveals she wants him to write a new book in which Misery comes back to life. When he sees a hairpin on the floor, he has an idea to buy time. He asks Annie to buy him some different paper because his current paper smudges, to which she responds with another fit of rage. Whilst she's out shopping, Paul uses the hairpin to unlock his door and escape. However, he soon finds out that the front door is locked as well. He makes a visit to her living room and medicine closet. In the living room, he accidentally knocks over a small ceramic penguin off the table and points it the wrong way. This will later become important. He also realizes that Annie's phone is a fake one, cancelling his chances of contacting the outside world. So anything kind of add here, and I'll add some other flair after about what happened.
No, yeah, I mean, just to kind of speak on the movie, I think that like the way they show the opening scene of, and him driving in the snow and the rolling over, I think it's really terrifying, and I think it's shot really well, and I think it's obviously good that they show it for the purposes of the film, because it shows how awful like his injuries probably are, and then her obviously like dragging him out of the car and putting him like actually being strong enough to carry him. Like you just really get a sense of who she is in that moment. So I think that's all really well done. And then I besides like the little bit of a confusing part with I think that's honestly part of the reason why like the movie is not like perfect to me, is just like little things like that. I feel like that it's not told in a way that's like straightforward as far as that part of it goes, but that all kind of goes away once you kind of get to I think the turning point for me is the scene where she like spills the soup and he really kind of sees her kind of have like a little bit of a rage fit for the first time. You kind of are like, he starts to understand that he's dealing with someone who's not of sound mind. I think he kind of started to kind of gather, but I feel like that's the first moment that you see him like switch. And then from there, we just see him continuously trying to escape for the rest of the movie, which I think is really fun.
Yeah.
So no, I think it's really good, like scenes like slowly building. It's just little by little. Obviously his injuries are awful. His legs and everything look horribly swollen and bruised, and it's just to think that she just, as a nurse, like, I mean, I respect nurses, but to think she did all that on her own and just was like, yeah, you're going to be fine. I'm going to take care of you and give you this medicine that isn't really helping you. And, there's so much good stuff here, but yeah, it's interesting to find out that the book explains it better. 'Cause to me, that makes so much sense. I feel like in a story like this, when you can really write it down on paper, I think it is definitely going to be more clear. Like thrillers and stuff and mystery movies are always just great when you write them down. So
yeah, for sure. in the book, the way that his legs are described are haunting. It's like
Yeah.
he says he doesn't look at the legs because he's always scared to look under the blanket, but he can see that the shapes are like broken branches. So
Oof.
they're making obtuse angles all the time.
Yeah.
One thing I love in the book that they do that they don't really show in the movie because it'd be impossible. Like, of course, Annie is a retired nurse, and she has all this like equipment and stuff. She gets him addicted to morphine. So then that like when he's going to the medicine cabinet, that's in the book. He's like he goes to the bathroom, he finds like a box of morphine, and he straight away takes one. He's already like high on it. So it's all like it's like that dependency, and that's why in the book it's a lot more believable why he is okay-ish to be there for months because he becomes an addict, and that like she's basically his enabler and he's addictor.
See, that's interesting because I feel like it's not super clear either what exactly the powder is that's in the red capsules. Yeah. And I wonder if they were trying, because there's a line she says I think is really like under like the radar, you kind of can miss it, but she says something like, it's crazy how your pain is the same every day, and when you take narcotics, and I say this as someone who's been taking them for surgery, just for surgery,
same,
that you do start, your body tells you you're in pain.
Yep.
Because it becomes reliant. So now I'm wondering, like, what is that powder? And did she say that because his body was starting to feel reliant on it, and that's what was keeping him sleepy and kind of in bed? And then when he stopped taking it, he started to have more strength because he wasn't kind of... But see, again, it's not, like, super crystal clear. So I think the book is where I can imagine it's like when it's on paper in more detail, it would just add to the story in a positive way, I feel like.
One of the great bits of the book, which is kind of relevant here, which is pretty cool, is that one of the scariest things about Annie is how unpredictable she is. Mm-hmm. He would be constantly saying in the book that like there'd be good days and there's bad days, and there's the good days is like it's as if they're at a holiday, and she's giving him all the food that he wants and stuff like that, or timely matter. And then there'd be days where she would... The soup scene is one of the scariest scenes for me in the book, where she comes in and he says some remark about the soup and she just throws it onto the floor. Then she comes in like an hour later with a mop and a bucket, mops it all up, goes up to him with the bucket and says, "Drink it." Yeah. Wild. And like and she's like grabbing his leg and hurting him until he drinks it. Like it's fucked. So yeah, it's all power control, which is really cool.
Yes, I feel like that all just would add to it. I do like the scene with the burning of the manuscript, but I feel like I can imagine like that being a little bit more terrifying. But I do like that scene, especially where the part where she's just like walking around the bed, tossing the gasoline stuff, like the lighter fluid, just like casually tossing while she's talking to him on his bed. Kind of like, if I want to, I can light you on fire right now.
Yep.
It's
such
that
a power
stuff
trip,
that's kind
isn't
of...
it?
Yeah, but it's like the stuff that's under the radar. It's like those little moments that, nothing really happens with it. But if she wanted it to,
yeah, she
could.
Yeah, she has the option.
Could. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. So he's right now he's searching the house in the medicine closet. He takes some of the pills that Annie has been giving him for his fracture. He also tries to escape through the back door in the kitchen but cannot open it. He was bedridden for a few days and is currently now in a wheelchair. Soon, he hears Annie returning and immediately races back to the room. Fortunately, he gets back to his room in time just when she opens the door. I love this scene. It's super tense. Great, well done. She gets him back into bed and gives him a notepad and his pills, which he pretends to swallow. The following night, he saves up a lot of the powder from the pills, and in the morning, an argument starts between Paul and Annie about the book, which escalates into a humorous fits of rage, and her growing up in Bakersfield, watching chapter plays. Meanwhile, the authorities find Sheldon's '65 Mustang buried in the snow. When Annie reads about some of Paul's new manuscript, she responds happily. So throughout the book, like once every third chapter or so, it would start with like around 15 pages of what the actual Misery manuscript is.
Oh, fun.
So you're reading it, and I didn't love it because it's fucking slop, and like that's what it's kind of meant to be. But it's like it's kind of cool to kind of see that story. It's like Downton Abbey written by a child. So it's like it's fucking slop. But I think it's a really cool way to do it. A lot of people think that's the worst parts of the book. I think it is the worst. It's not bad, but it's the worst part of the book because you just want to get back into that room. But he reveals one. He puts in the first chapter to her, and it has the same line in the book of just like, it's not fair, like you're not being fair or something, basically saying you're cheating and stuff like that. Of like Misery died, and he's just like, oh no, but she actually didn't die, and the doctor was right there, and she's like, no, but at the end of the book he said the doctor was somewhere else. You're cheating. You have to do something else, and she like chastises him that way because of that. So that when he finally gives her a manuscript and she's like, I'm happy, and he's like, the sense of relief for him is huge. So Paul requests that Annie have dinner with him to celebrate Misery's return. At the dinner, Paul makes a toast to Misery's return, but asks if she has any candles. This doesn't happen in the book. Whilst Annie is looking for them, Paul puts powder in her wine. When she returns, she almost makes a toast but drops her drink in the process, ruining Paul's plan. The next, I'll stop there because there's only like one more paragraph left. Anything to kind of add there?
No, I mean, I think some of the moments of him in the room just like writing and then coming up with his kind of plan, like lifting the typewriter to kind of see how much it weighs. Like you can
he
just
does
tell
that
he's
in the book to
planning
like
something.
work out to like that's him like getting stronger. Yeah,
but also kind of like probably lifting it to like practice like how he's gonna do something with it. Or I'm not sure if at this point in the story from your notes if he's already looked at her like memory book. I'm not sure if that happens after the dinner or not. But
no, it's about to happen. It's the next scene.
Okay, never mind. I won't go there then. But yeah, I just think that like him kind of working on the manuscript and obviously getting her out of the house strategically, I think was obviously important for him to kind of figure out what he's dealing with. But yeah, I mean, I think he's getting smarter. He's starting to become like one of those final girls that we root for in horror movies where, they're kind of getting their plan. But I think in this sense, the reason it's different is because he has time. It's not like he's like currently dealing with like a serial killer who's trying to get him right in that moment. He's dealing with someone who's playing mind games and physical games with him. So he's kind of like trying to do it back to her. And I think it's kind of fun to watch that. As he starts to kind of heal a little bit, he's kind of planning his attack back. So yeah, I just think it's a lot of like fun scenes here. And then obviously watching her be more, unpredictable back and forth. And obviously like the fact that she thinks that they're like maybe gonna like be together forever. Like you can just tell she's not well. She kind of will be one way and then the next day she comes in and acts like they're like a married couple or something. Yeah. So you just kind of get a sense of where she's at mentally.
Well, there's a scene in the book where it's all going well and she's happy. And then she has these like episodes and he wakes up and she's just sitting at the end of his bed with a gun and she's just like, and like they're just talking normally and she goes, and then like all of a sudden her face just drops and she's just like, I can't let you leave here, right? And he's just like, I understand. He goes, I can just end it now. I put one in yours, and like put one in yours. She's pointing the gun at him, and then put one in mine, and then we could be together forever. And he's just like, Misery doesn't deserve that. We must finish her story, and that's how he like.
But that happens in the basement, right?
Yeah.
Later.
Yeah, it kind of does. But just the whole like waking up, and it's just like this whole like real nice like conversation, and then she's just like, yeah, well, we could do that for dinner tonight if that's what you'd like. Yeah. I can't let you leave, right? And like it's just like instantly her face, like her just like the mask drops, and you're like, oh, this is kind of fucking terrifying. The scene, so the sheriff Buster's in the book, but he's like not a character. Like he's like one of the sheriffs that is trying to find him. That you can kind of tell. But I
do love the sheriff and his wife in this. I think they're really fun.
He's really good in the. I think he's a great addition.
And the way he reads the book to try to like learn. Yeah, that's so smart.
It's so sick. It's so sick. But the scene of like the first cop comes to question her, and she's like in the driveway being like you can't come onto my property and stuff, and Paul sees him and just starts screaming, and he's just like, help, I'm in here. So she shoots the cop in the back, and the cop's like crawling on the ground, and she goes and she like looks at Paul through the window, shakes her head and goes off to the side. You don't know where she is, and he's like crawling to the car, and he's like watching this cop get towards the car, and he's like if he gets there, he can phone for help, and then everything will be sweet. And he's almost there, and you hear this like machine just start to go towards him, and a fucking lawnmower goes over him. And
Oh my
yeah,
God.
that's what I'm saying. Annie Wilkes in the book is different gravy. Like, she's nuts. And then she's just like looks at him and goes, "That was all your fault. Like, like this is entirely your fault."
Wow.
Which is kind of crazy. So the next scene shows a line of clips of Paul writing the book. In the last clip, Annie gives him his pills and talks about committing unaliving. When she leaves the house, he goes out of the room again and reads her scrapbook. It includes many news clippings revealing that she killed her father, her college roommate, and many patients in hospitals. This is real in the book. This is what happens. It's a lot about, like, she was a maternity ward nurse, and there were a lot of deaths there, so you can connect the dots. He grabs a knife from the kitchen and wheels himself back into the room. Later, he awakens to the sight of Annie as she forcibly sedates him. In the morning, she ties him to the bed and reveals that she knows about him being out of the room, the scrapbook, the ceramic penguin, the hairpin, you name it. She then, she calls, hobbles him. So she puts a block of wood in between his feet and hits him each with a sledgehammer. This isn't what happens in the book. Do you know what happens in the book?
Oh my God. This scene.
Doesn't hobble him. He wakes up and she's like doing the whole conversation of just like, I'm gonna let you tell me if you need to tell me something. You can tell me right now. And he's like, no. He's like, have you been out of this room? And she already knows, which is kind of horrifying. And she's like, I wish you told me the real. And like, he's like, I can hear something banging on the ground next to her, and she brings up an axe and she just slices off one of his feet, and then cauterizes it as well. Just one of just one, but one of the legs she slices off. So that's why that's what I'm talking about. Annie in the book is different gravy. Wait, I'll show you the cover art. Misery cover art of the book is literally, you can kind of see, is the shadow of Annie with the fucking wild.
That's crazy. I mean, I can't even watch this scene when she I mean, I literally was screaming audibly while watching it. It's always the one that gets me the most. I'm just like,
I think it works just as well. Like,
they're both awful. Yeah.
But like that, I feel like, because like when I read this, I was first like, fuck, they should just kept that in. But at the same time, they can't, at that, especially in 1990, they can't show a guy getting his leg cut off like that.
Well, and this wasn't really classified as like a horror film. No. Like it is, but it's more of a thriller. So I feel like if you show something like that, you automatically get into that genre where people who don't like horror won't watch it. If you're like literally cutting off someone's body part and like there's blood everywhere, and it just it changes the movie a little bit, which I'm not against, but it was a different time and there was probably a certain audience that they were going for.
Yeah, exactly. So in the next scene, Buster, the local sheriff, sees an emotional outburst in town and researches her history. Later, he pays visit to her house, Annie's house, and looks around. When he leaves, he hears a noise and goes back inside to find Paul in the basement and is shot by Annie. When she says that she wants to kill him, then herself, he requests finishing the book first. Later, he's writing the book and requests 3 things: a cigarette, matches, and Dom Perignon champagne. When Annie returns, he also requests 2 glasses. While she's out of the room, he pours the flammable liquid all over the manuscript and requests and burns it. Which escalates in a brawl, resulting in Annie's death. 18 months later, Paul is seen in a restaurant with his agent, refusing to write a book about his experiences. He mistakes a waitress for Annie in a haunting vision as she repeats Annie's line, "I'm your number 1 fan." That is Misery. So in the book, how it ends is sick. I think that how the demise, this whole kind of thing of just like the like lighting the thing on fire and stuff is real. So in the book, lights on fire and she's like trying to stamp it out, and he starts pouring the flammable liquid on her. So she gets on fire as well, and he slams the typewriter onto her head. So he thinks she's dead. So he goes out of the room and he's crawling out of the room. First place he goes to isn't the front door. This is what's fucked up about this book. First place he goes to is the fucking bathroom to get more morphine because he's an addict. And he basically like locks her into the room, and basically he gets high and passes out. And he wakes up and he's like, I don't know where she is. And like he's like, he thought that when he'd like wake up every now and he could hear growling from the bedroom where she was like fucking like burned up and started decomposed. So he's like crawling out towards the living room, and then all of a sudden the door bursts open, the front door, and it's the police, and they're like, "We found you." And he's just like, she's in there, and he's like started to scream. He's like, "Get her!" He's like, "You dirty bird!" Like always like screaming at her. He's fucking crazy now. So he's absolutely going absolutely insane. They go into the bedroom. She's not there. And they kind of like leave it there at first, and like so for like a good 20 pages, you're like, was this all like an imagination for him? And like she's not real. And then they said he's like they eventually found her as she was crawling into the. She died when she'd crawled into the barn out the back with one hand on a chainsaw. And says she was going to come back with a fucking chainsaw, and like, that's nuts. He also didn't fully burn the book. He just burned extra pages. So he published the book, and he got it made after as well. So he made money off it.
Jeez.
So that is Misery. Ash, what did you think of Misery? Score out of 5.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed this movie. It went up a little bit on rewatch for me. I gave it 4.5.
Oh, yeah.
I just think it's really well crafted. Obviously, I haven't read the book. It's fun to hear about it. I think certain things could have been explained a little bit better in the beginning, especially of the story. But
Agreed.
I love all the scenes of them together. I think, yeah, Kathy Bates and James Conner just perfect together. Obviously, she's like such a standout, but I agree. I think he's great as well. And yeah, I just think it's so much fun to watch. It's so terrifying to see her have her like just kind of demented moments and then go straight into like absolutely loving him and thinking that how she's behaving is normal. It's honestly like really cool to watch her be able to play so many versions of the same character, and even like you get a little bit more of like the depressed version of her when it's like raining and she talks about how it makes her feel a little bit of a certain way. And I just think there's so many dimensions to her. Obviously she's definitely needs help and she's a murderer, but she's such a multi-layered character, which I think is really interesting with villains. So yeah, I think she does a phenomenal job. That final scene of like even the whole burning of the pages, the way he executes his plan, the way that he like knocks her onto the ground, just that whole fight sequence with them, perfect. Perfect filmmaking, perfect like stunt coordination. All of it is perfect. I think it's really, really well done. Has you like on the edge of your seat the first time you watch it. And yeah, I think the ending works. I think that it makes sense for a film. Like I'm glad they don't spend too much time on the ending. It's very simple.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the line of like, I'm your biggest fan. I think that this movie was way ahead of its time. And maybe the book was as well. Just like with how crazy fandoms can be. I remember we were watching it at one point. Adam said like, I feel like this is like something that the Byler fans would do to the Duffer Brothers or something with sure. Like Mike and Will not getting together in Stranger Things. I just feel like fandoms are so insane now. I just like it is kind of interesting to watch something like this that was made 35 years ago now. So yeah, just a really, really fun watch. I think it's one that I'll rewatch every 5 or 6 years and put on whenever I want like a cozy environment, but a kind of crazy murderous thriller story. Oh, one scene that I really do love, it's super like minimal, but him practicing the knife in his sling. I just think that's really fun. Like just like how much he wants to he really wants to get it right. I think the way that is included, I don't know, I really like it. I love some of those little moments of just him kind of planning out what he's going to try to do. I think they're really fun. So
yes,
yeah, great film. Glad we watched it.
Good point that you brought up with the rain. That is one of the, it's the same in the book, that's the parts where she like her mood changes, and there'd be times where they'd have a fight and she'd be like, I need to be away from you, and then she just goes away from the house for days. Like,
that's crazy.
Yeah, she like she goes off to like some other house that her and her late husband used to own, and pretty sure that she killed the husband. But,
I think understood. They didn't just like get a normal divorce. I think
from memory, I think they explained it as well that like she definitely killed the husband. But yeah, just like shit like that. I think that no one else could play Annie. I think, especially at that time, I thought that Kathy Bates is spectacular in this role.
She's
deserves
iconic.
The Oscar.
Yeah,
she's unreal, and she plays that like really creepy but like warm nature at the same time. So yeah, I really like this movie. I give it 4 out of 5. I highly recommend it. I highly recommend reading the book, even though we kind of just spoiled everything for you. It's not long. I think it's only 300 pages, but it just gives a lot more context around everything. So that is Misery. Next week we are watching Boiling Point, which I can't wait to rewatch that movie.
Oh, yeah. That's also a oneer.
Yep. Yeah, hell yeah. Cannot wait. Cannot wait for Boiling Point. But until then, we'll just finish off with a game. We've got another Guess the Category, which is going to be good fun. So, Ash, once again, I've got 2 categories. I've got 10 movies in each category, and I'm going to name each movie one by one until you give me what the category is. Now, these are a little bit harder than last time, because last time you got it within like 3 of each time. So, I kind of want to see how this goes.
Okay.
So first category, first film in the category, The Theory of Everything.
Never seen it.
Fair enough. Second one, so we've got The Theory of Everything, Leaving Las Vegas.
Never seen it.
Cool. Theory of Everything, Leaving Las Vegas. You've seen this one, The Silence of the Lambs.
Is it like... I want to say based on a book, but I don't think that's right.
Would you like another film?
Sure.
Got The Theory of Everything, Leaving Las Vegas, Silence of the Lambs, Training Day.
Never seen it.
You've never seen
Cool.
Training Day?
No, I told you this a few weeks ago.
Oh man, I thought that was a nightmare.
I have no connection to any of those movies.
Okay, Theory of Everything, Leaving Las Vegas, The Silence of the Lambs, Training Day, There Will Be Blood.
Never seen that either.
Holy shit.
Cool.
It's not something inside the film.
Something in the title?
No. You would have seen the
I
next
was going to say
one.
they all start with T, but Leaving Las Vegas doesn't work for that. I don't know.
Theory of Everything, Leaving Las Vegas, Silence of the Lambs, Training Day, There Will Be Blood, Dallas Buyers Club.
Does that have something to do with Oscar nominations? Nominated for Best Actor?
I'll give it to you.
Best Picture?
I'll give it to you. Movies that received Best Actor.
Oh, Best Received. Okay.
Yeah, they won it. So
Got
Theory of Everything, of course, was Eddie Redmayne. Leaving Las Vegas,
Wouldn't
Nicky Cage. Silence of the Lambs was Anthony Hopkins. Training Day, Denzel Washington. There Will Be Blood. Daniel Day. And then, of course, Matthew McConaughey in Dallas Buyers Club. I then had The Father, which again was Anthony Hopkins. The Whale, which was Brendan Fraser. Gladiator, which was my boy Rusty. And then Oppenheimer, which was Killian. So second one. You got there, though. Well done. You got there within 6, and that was a tough one. I want to see if you get this one, though.
Okay.
First film. You've seen this film, Up.
I'm not going to say animated because that would be way too easy. Trying to think of something unique about that movie. I'll go with another one.
You got Up. You now have Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me.
Okay.
It's funny that there's a connection between those movies, eh?
That's definitely odd. I'll take another one.
You got Up, Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me, or I'm going to be honest, any of the Austin Powers. So Up, Austin Powers, A Christmas Story.
That's interesting.
I know.
I'm trying to think if there's like an actor connection, but I don't think so. I'm thinking too generally right now. I don't know.
Up,
I guess I'll take another.
Austin Powers, A Christmas Story, To Kill a Mockingbird.
That's very interesting.
Thank you. Need another one?
Yeah, I really don't know.
If you don't get
cannot
around
think of
7,
something
I'll give
connecting.
you a hint towards what it is. So,
Cool.
Up, Austin Powers, A Christmas Story, To Kill a Mockingbird, Chicken Little.
This is fascinating. These feel like childhood movies. like to me.
No.
But movies about grief.
Good guess. Up, Austin Powers, Christmas Story, To Kill a Mockingbird, Chicken Little, and then Her.
What the fuck are you on, Harry?
Yeah. I'll give you a hint. It's something about the main character.
That it's a male.
Ah.
Main character is wears glasses.
Movies where the main character wears glasses. We got Up, Austin Powers, A Christmas Story, To Kill a Mockingbird, Chicken Little, Her. I then had Autumn Sonata, Napoleon Dynamite. In the last two, I said Super Bad, in brackets, 1/3. And then Harry Potter, in brackets, all of them.
That's so funny.
Well done. So that is Guess the Character. That's fun. That is fun. I like that.
It's hard.
It did. I'm surprised you got that one. That was my toughest one. So next week again, please watch Boiling Point, and then we can continue on with. So next couple of weeks you got, well, the rest of the 2 months we got Misery, of course today, Boiling Point, Phone Booth, Clue, Dog Day Afternoon, 10 Cloverfield Lane, which I can't wait to rewatch that movie. I might rewatch first Cloverfield just for it, and not rewatch Cloverfield Paradox. And then we got Reservoir Dogs, Hush, and Knock at the Cabin, which I'm going to try and read the book for before that.
Okay.
Should be able to. Until next time, I'm Harry. It's Ash. Love Death Movies. See you at the movies.